All right, good evening. My name is Emrah Catic, and I'll be informing you guys about marijuana. First question, how many of you guys know what marijuana is with a show of hands? Okay. How many of you guys know about the history behind marijuana? Okay. Let me start with a little history. According to narconcon.org, marijuana has been used for euphoria since the ancient times dating back to 2373 BC. The Spanish introduced marijuana to the New World back in 1545, and it was initially introduced to Jamestown in 1611, and there it became a major crop competing against tobacco. It was listed on the United States Pharmacopoeia from 1850 until 1942. It was prescribed for various conditions, including labor pains and nausea. This all ended when the U.S. Federal Bureau of Narcotics made marijuana out to be a powerful and addictive substance back in the 1930s. This is when it was classified as a gateway drug by the authorities, and finally, during the 1960s, was when it was most prominently used by college students and hippies. This is when it became a symbol of rebellion against the authority just because the hippies and the college students were using it. With all this history, you may be asking, what is in marijuana? So marijuana has two components, tetrahydrocannabinol, which is the THC component, and there's cannabidiol, which is the CBD component. And those two make up marijuana. CBD is currently legal in all 50 states, and it can be found in either a CBD dispensary or local gas station. I'm sure you guys have seen like those little things that just has like CBD in it. It's like a little squirty thing. And you can find those, again, in dispensaries or your local gas station. And those CBD is more of the health benefit side of the marijuana, which is why it's legalized. It helps with like various pains and such. THC, on the other hand, is only legal in a handful of states, and you may be asking why. This is because it gives the user a feeling of happiness or excitement, which is the euphoria. It gives the user the high, which is why THC isn't legal everywhere. CBD, on the other hand, is legal in all 50 states because it doesn't give the user that desired high. So there are both benefits and drawbacks to using this substance. According to the NCBI, marijuana can help with anorexia, pain relief, inflammation, as well as various other diseases. It helps with anorexia specifically because when people ingest the drug, it makes them super hungry, and people usually call this the munchies because you just want to constantly eat, from what the article said. On the other hand, it has a few drawbacks, and according to drugabuse.gov, marijuana causes significant breathing problems, an increased heart rate, temporary hallucinations, temporary paranoia, as well as an increase in nausea and vomiting. With both benefits and drawbacks in mind, you may wonder who has marijuana legalized. To start, it was first introduced legally in the United States in Colorado. Some other states that have it 100% legalized are California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Michigan, Vermont, Massachusetts, Maine, and Alaska. And some states that have it medicinally legalized are Arizona, for example. And this is provided by DISA.com. For countries, there are a few countries that have it legalized nationally, and these countries include Canada, the Netherlands, Spain, North Korea, Uruguay, Peru, and Jamaica. And this list was provided by thekingland.com. Marijuana also plays a significant role economically. Since the legalization of marijuana in Colorado, the state has seen some financial gains from the legalization. In 2017 alone, marijuana sales had brought in more than $200 million in tax collection, according to KansasCityFed.org. And according to the Washington Post, in 2015, the legal marijuana industry in Colorado created more than 18,000 new full-time jobs and generated $2.4 billion in economic activity. With a show of hands, how many of you guys are between the ages of 18 and 20? All of you, basically. Would you believe me if I said that you were the lowest percentage of users in the marijuana demographic, according to CannabisConsumer.org? You make up exactly 0.94% of the marijuana user demographic, and that's less than 1%. Marijuana is most prominently used by people between the ages of 21 to 35. They make up more than 41% of the marijuana user demographic. Also, more than 78 million Americans have tried marijuana but don't use it regularly. 20 million use it yearly, 35 million use it monthly, and 115 million Americans have never tried it. More than half the U.S. population has tried marijuana, and this shows that marijuana is sort of a mainstream drug nowadays. Overall, marijuana has been relevant for centuries. It used to be illegal and compete with other drugs like tobacco. It was also a pharmaceutical drug until it was banned by the U.S. Bureau of Narcotics, where it went downhill exponentially. Marijuana has both medical benefits and drawbacks that we have mentioned earlier. It also plays a role in our country's economy due to the fact that it has created many jobs and brought a lot of tax revenues from the states that it is legalized. And not to forget, it has some pretty funny and unique names. I hope I taught you guys something about marijuana. Are there any questions?
What are some of those names?
The names are, how many would you like?
3 of them.
3, Chronic, Ganja, and Mary Jane. That's it. Thank you.